Hey everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and today I am coming to you from the greenhouse that is absolutely covered in snow. We've had another like 3 or 4 inches, and while it looks absolutely beautiful, I mean the snow-covered trees and everything just has this beautiful, clean, white look to it. I absolutely love it. So we are still starting seeds. It is now mid to late February. We're in Ohio Zone 6, and so we are going to start more seeds today. I want to try to do, we're definitely going to put some in trays, but I want to try to do some more winter sowing today if I can get to it. So I wanted you to come along with us, and I'm just going to, especially through February and March, we're going to have a lot of seed starting for Zone 6. You can actually follow it in Zone 7 and some of the like 5, 4 zones. You can pretty much follow it too. But so we are going to today start not just herbs, but we're going to start some of our cold weather crops like cabbage and kale. And we already have cabbage and kale growing in our winter sowing jugs outside, which we showed in our a few videos ago. We started some, but I like to succession sow. Even though these are going to kind of go out at the same time, I don't like everything to come ripe all at once, because we like to like successively get things. So we do go through a ton of greens and all the brassicas. We love the brassicas here. So we're going to make sure we plant a lot of those this year, and again do them successively, so that it's not that I don't want to have to put them away like through canning or different things that we do to kind of stretch the goodness of the plant, but you want as little work as possible. So we're trying to successively plant things, and I'll take you along and show you what we're planting, how we're planting it, and give you a good timetable of when you should be planting too. So let's get started. The germination domes or the humidity domes or whatever you want to call them on our seed trays, and if one is like fully germinated, you have the chance, and another one's not going to for 2 weeks, then you could very easily mold those seedlings that are already germinated. So you kind of want the same germination times, and that is the separation that I have for all of these, is they all have the same germination times. You don't have to worry about like even companion planting and all of that stuff. That's in the garden. That's when they're actually growing and producing everything that they need. But as seedlings, you only have to worry about what their germination period is, and you can always pop them out of their trays. And if you have already planted things and like a whole, you know, 4 or 5 rows of your cells have not germinated, and then others have, you can pop the ones that have germinated out and put them in a different tray if you need to. But so that's kind of our rule of thumb when I plant the seedlings. So I'm going to get started with some meadowsweet, some echinacea, that's just the normal purple coneflower, some yarrow, and delphinium. And The Echinacea, the Meadowsweet, and the Yarrow are from Strictly Medicinal Seeds. And the Delphinium is, I've already planted this, but I wanted more because the germination's not incredible on these. Burpee has not been incredible with germination. I just want to point that out. And so this will be my first tray that I'm going to get into and figure out how much of each one I'm actually going to put in, and label. Before you get started, label your rows, because you will forget. I say every single time, oh, I won't forget. I have a whole tray under the lights right now that's growing because I said it's the only one that doesn't have a label. I won't forget what this is. I forgot. I'm gonna have to go back in the video where we planted them and figure out which one I didn't label. So you will forget. Please label. I still have not received our little plastic white labels that we typically put into our seedling trays. So I'm still using popsicle sticks. They start to get a little smeary, but please make sure you use a permanent marker when you are going to use the wooden, any kind of wooden anything in a humidity dome. So I'm gonna get started on the first one. Okay, so we finished. I said I was gonna do 3 trays, but I was mistaken because one of my bundles is actually for winter sowing in my jug. So disregard that. Now we're on to our bundle of winter sowing packets. One thing I wanted to point out is that you can't read this, but this is chives, and we are going to do a test this year. I don't know why it would be any different than other jugs, but I'm doing one of those long water jugs. Let me give you a better shot. And you can also like pop these out if there's excess watering. It's also just another, you know, escape for water. And we'll have to, in the lids, put like a little hole or something for it to get at least some water in it. But I'm gonna plant my chives in these too. And one of the reasons is because I like for chives to like be in a good clump. And I kind of grow our onions like that too. They eventually develop into clumps and then you have to break them up and all that. But when we put up our fencing and we have our herb garden and all of that, I actually want quite a bit of chives. So I will actually plant some, just like sprinkling some in the herb garden, but I want to have some ready to go too because I get so impatient. But I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to start some asparagus. Now this asparagus is actually a couple years old, and so I will try to get as much out of it as I can. And then I'm going to do some premium late flat Dutch. And I know that these actually take a lot longer than the Jersey early, so that's why I'm gonna plant these in winter sowing so that they have the absolute first break at dormancy that they can. But so asparagus, late flat Dutch, and chives is what we're doing now. If we have time for anything else, I might plant hollyhock, but we'll have to see. let's get started again. So we've just put a moistened potting soil in this, and I'm just going to sprinkle my seeds over the top, kind of thickly. I want to give them every opportunity to grow, and then in this one as well. So I'm going to use my paint pen, and I'm going to mark both of these containers what they are, but I'm also inside going to label them. You can't be too careful or else you won't know what they are. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have the chives, and then dummy me, I put premium late Dutch on all 3 of these, and 2 of them are actually asparagus. So we'll get a surprise later. We'll just have to look and see. Asparagus grows up real thin and ferny, whereas cabbage doesn't. They have those big kind of medallion shape to them. So these are done, and we're going to move these outside of the greenhouse. These trays are pretty moist, but just to make sure those seeds have contact, okay, well, there you have it. We've got 2 trays. The trays that we did, they have, I think, 72 cells in them. So these are very large trays. It's like, I believe that my trays from Gardener Supply only do 24. So these are definitely like almost 3 of those. And they work so well. Actually, in the comments down below, I'll go ahead and put the link to these at Amazon. They are super duper good. I mean, they are just, they're not as good as the I think it's called GrowEase on Gardener Supply. I think Gardener Supply is gardeners.com. But those are just ones that will last for a very long time. These I got a couple years ago, and so they are really holding up to the abuse that we put on them. So to have, like, I like to have equipment for a long time. Actually, I like to have everything for a long time. I'm just that weird person who does that. But I'll go ahead and link the Amazon down below. I'll link the GrowEase too, because if you have a little bit of money to spend, or maybe you got your income tax and you want to spend it on your gardening, GrowEase is worth it if, again, if you're someone who likes to keep your things. But the Amazon one is $25, or maybe it's $30 now, for 5 of them, 5 trays, 5 domes, 5 of the 72 cells. So it is a very economical deal. And I also wanted to remind you too that, so I watered mine in. I really watered mine a bit much. I'll keep a check on my trays. But Elijah and I are going to take these and put them under the light and on a heating mat. It is so cold here right now that, like, even in this greenhouse, the air isn't super cold, but the gravel is, my feet are numb because it's so cold. It's just crazy cold here right now in Eli. So we are gonna cut this short. I was gonna try to plant some hollyhocks, but I think I'll do it later in the week and I'll update you on that as well. And so I wanna go ahead and take everyone through how to plant. This is how you get large amounts of food. Starting some, you put some in the, why can't I think what that is called? Oh, starting some, direct sowing some, it lets you have this beautiful succession so that you can keep getting fresh food almost all year. And next year, hopefully we'll have electric in this greenhouse and we will be able to do food literally all year long. So I hope that you join us as we go ahead and we do all the rest of our seeds that are going to get started, especially over the next month. And we're going to continue to winter sow, and I hope that you winter sow right along with us. And so just at the end, I'm going to leave a quick little note of what we sowed today. And then you'll have note of what, if you're in a zone 6, really a zone 7 too, but you can, and a zone 5. You can start all of these the same time that we do, and we can grow together. So remember, if we can winter sow and succession plant, anybody can. Thanks. Bye.